Hi. Okay. So, sorry. This is Zephyr. Zephyr's a brat. No, he's now going to disconnect my microphone. So, let's start. This should be a lot better this time. I am running this through a new program. Still on my phone, obviously. However, this one allows me to lock the whatchamacallit, lock the focus, and allows me to film in 1080p instead of 720, so you should be able to see better, which is nice. Okay, let's relax and just enjoy for the next hour. It's been a while since I've worked on this, and I do apologize for having to cancel the last 2 streams. Life just kind of got in the way. First one, I needed to rescue my partner who had broken down the highway, and the second one, I needed to drop said partner off at the airport. He is currently in the UK, and I hope that he is having an absolutely and utterly marvellous time, which I'm sure he is. And we are hopefully back to our normal Wednesdays. So apparently through this app I can stream to multiple venues, programs at the same time. So I must just figure out how that works, and then I can stream to Twitch and to YouTube at the same time, which will be nice. But I am so happy to be back at drawing these little mouse birds. This drawing's been my happy place for the past couple of weeks. I'm just so enjoying it. Let's move that up there. That's central, it looks like. I do hope you're in focus. I should go and check on the main computer, but I've already had, I think, enough upsets by now. So I hope that you're all having a wonderful, relaxing Saturday. And let me regale you with some Mousebird facts, because I gave Mousebird facts in the first stream I did of this. But as you know, I completely fucked up that stream. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And I didn't even bother to save the recording because it was so bad. And you couldn't hear anything anyway because there was some issue with the microphone. So mousebirds are one of the oldest species of birds. They came onto the scene approximately 62 million years ago. They recently found the oldest mousebird fossil in existence, which was 62 million years old, which was actually found on sacred Navajo land. Now, mousebirds are no longer found in the States or in the Americas at all. And they are now only in Africa. However, for much of their history, they were found all over the world. However, with the cooling of the planet, they retreated back to Africa, so that is why I'm lucky enough to have mousebirds. And sadly, the rest of the world misses out on such incredible tiny beasties. But yeah, these little dinosaurs arrived on the scene 3 million years after the cataclysm that killed all the dinosaurs, and are one of the first species of birds to arise. I think that the other one is galliforms, which is chickens, and then there is one more, which I forget. But mousebirds are very, very ancient. And not only that, but they are completely unchanged for 23 million years. Where all of the other species carried on evolving, mousebirds 23 million years ago decided, no, we're good. And I agree with them. They are good. They are the best that a bird can be, I think. And as a result, they have the most primitive digestive system of any bird. They have an incredibly short digestive tract that relies on heat to digest food. They're basically little fermentation tanks, which is why you'll see in photos of mousebirds that they sit with their tummies in the sun and their wings out, because that is the only way that they can digest food. Basically, make wine. Just a reminder that I can't see the comments if anybody comments, because I film on my phone, and although I do have access to Tom's computer at the moment, it is in the other room, so please leave a comment if you have any questions or anything, and I will read it out and give you your answer in the next stream. Or comments are also good. So mousebirds are fructivores. They eat fruit and they eat leaves. In the wild it's actually mostly leaves, unless they live in the Western Cape where I do. Then they thieve fruit off of farmers' trees. And the big issue is that what they do is they basically take a bite and they chuck it on the floor, which is totally natural mousebird behavior, because what they like to do is to let it lie on the floor and ferment, and then they'll come back for it later. Unfortunately, most people don't realize this. So the rotting fruit gets cleared away and the mousebirds then chuck more fruit on the floor. And unfortunately, due to this habit, they are murdered by farmers, which is not okay. Off of there. Luna is sitting on my tripod arm, so I do apologize for it bouncing. And you can probably hear them chirping in the background a bit. Need some more tea. I invested in a half-litre mug for tea. I have no regrets. Now, there are 6 species of mousebirds. 3 of them are found in South Africa, which is the speckled, which I'm currently drawing, the whiteback, which is like Luna and Zephyr, which looks like these little guys here, and the red-faced, which looks like that little guy. The red-faced is actually a different species. The speckled and the whiteback are both Coleus. The red-faced, I forget the species because I basically don't have a memory. But they are subtly different. The red-faced actually look and behave a lot more like turacos than mousebirds. They are super cute, but they're like really teeny turacos. And then there's 3 other species which are found in more northern, central northern climes. So there is the blue-naped, which I actually have on good authority has been seen out in Melkbos area, which is interesting if they're moving this far south. Usually the closest they're seen is Zimbabwe, which is another sign of climate change. Lots of bird species have been moving south. So there's blue-naped, and there's the chestnut, and I think there's a white-cheeked. Chestnut and white-cheeked are quite rare, and they are only found in central northern Africa. I'd love to meet one of each of the species. Well, a whole flock of each. Yes, I have weird bucket lists. Just sharpen my pencil again. The only issue with drawing graphite is that the pencils get blunt so fast. And no, I will not be swapping over to one of the very narrow-leaded clutch pencils because I don't like the way they handle. I'm old, I'm set in my ways. Although when I was younger in college, we had to use the narrow ones, and I just never liked them, and I broke way too much lead. So I stick to my 2mm clutch pencil, and for heavier lines I have a whole set of very nice heavier pencils. That's an 8B, and I've got all the way up to a 9B. So yeah, mousebirds have to have the sun to digest their food. When it's cold, I give my 2 a hot water bottle because as a result of them being very primitive. They also don't have down like other birds, which means that they are hyperallergenic, which is awesome. Hyperallergenic birds, for those of you who are allergic to feathers. But they also can't regulate their own body temperature, so they have to be kept warm in winter. In the wild they snuggle together. They live in big flocks, 5 to 30 birds usually, and they sleep like grapes. They all hang, because they don't perch, they hang like these two here, and they all hang with their tummies towards the center like a bunch of grapes, and they keep each other warm, and they all take turns to sit in the center of the grape bunch and be kept warm by all the others. And if someone's sick, that one stays in the center. They are incredibly community-based. They do everything as a flock, including nesting and raising babies. So they will build one nest which is shared amongst a group, and all the females will lay eggs in the same nest, and all of them, male and female, take turns to incubate the eggs. And then when they hatch, they all take turns to feed the babies. I do think that we should be getting a lot of pointers from mousebirds on how to be as humans, because mousebirds seem to really just do everything better. And that's not to say that they're perfect. They fight like nothing on earth. My two boys are pretty young. Luna's 5. Zephyr is just under a year. He's about 9 months old now. Zephyr's just come into his adult hormones, and he is a tiny bundle of testosterone who just wants to fight or to mate with anything that's anywhere near him. The white-backed are the most aggressive of the species, though. So every so often Luna's got to put him in his place. And I have seen wildlings fight too. And also wonder, looking at the prevalence of mousebirds living in captivity that I know of and have known of, that most of them are male. I've only ever had 2 females. They were both Aubrey's mates, Vinny and Keita. But every other mousebird I know of almost is male. And I do wonder if they don't if there's too many males, if they don't excommunicate troublemakers or extra young males while they're still babies. But that is my theorizing. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I know with chickens and pheasants that often the dominant male will kill baby males if there's too many. So I do apologize for this running a bit late. I was working, I was editing tarot cards. Yes, I'm still busy with the proposal, weeks later. This has been the most difficult thing that I've done in a very long time. It has just been rounds and rounds and rounds of editing. But I have one chance, pretty much. I have to get it right. So I'd rather spend the extra time making sure that it's perfect. So, more mousebird facts. They have incredibly unusual feet. Their feet are called pamprodactyl, and what that is they have 4 toes, 2 facing forward and 2 facing backwards. However, one of the 2 facing backwards can pivot forwards to become a second thumb. So they basically have 2 fingers and 2 thumbs, which is why they are so nimble and so agile. And their feet are more like hands, actually. I tell my 2 guys that they walk on their hands. But that's why they climb so well. There are very few birds with pamprodactyl feet. Right now, my 2 are keeping watch up on the window because there's a crow sitting in the road who is eating, I don't know if it's roadkill or if it's something gross that somebody dropped. But he is having a nice lunch. They're making sure that he doesn't decide to join us up here. But when they do, I will show you a mousebird foot close up. Let me put the microphone closer so you can hear me draw, hear the pencil. The other interesting thing is that their feathers are basically fur. So they're incredibly soft and fluffy, and although their wing feathers and the heavy feathers have the center sheath, their belly and head feathers do not. So it's basically like a clump of fur coming out of a central area, central sheath. That's why they look so fluffy, because they are. Because they're feathery and furry. And they are so soft. And what do you know? There's no leaf blowers today. It's amazing. That sound is Zephyr playing in his pod. Oh, back. Zephyr lost his toy. Okay, I'm going to try and show you mousebird feet now because I have a mousebird. Look. Okay, so come show the peoples your feet. Look. So 2 forward-facing toes, that one, and then 2 backwards. See, that one's permanently backwards, and this one swaps out depending on where it's needed. Sorry, my boy. Yes. This is Zephyr. He is just a tiny fluffy cuddle, and Luna's on my arm, but I doubt if Luna will go anywhere near the camera. Hey boys, yes, I'm drawing Aubrey. For those who don't know, Aubrey was a speckled mousebird. He was my everything for 10 years. He passed away a few months ago. And this is him. And I know that they both, but especially Luna, miss him as much as I do. No eating cables. Mousebirds is a bit of a misnomer. So, although they're called mousebirds because they scuttle along branches and look like little mice when they do so, however, in habits they're much more like cats. They knock things off of shelves purposefully. They attack cables. They purr. Birds purr. Well, all birds purr, but mousebirds in particular. There is no happiness like a handful of warm purring mousebird. And if you're sick or just down, they will sit in your chest over your heart and they will purr to help you feel better. And it is just the best thing ever. There is nothing like it. Next time I'll raise the camera a little so that you can see them better. So I've got both of them sitting on my hand here, my right hand, while I draw. Although Luna's mostly trying to remove freckles. He has a vendetta against freckles. And that interesting whistle outside is the starlings. So there's a huge phoenix palm outside the window here that I showed in one of my earlier streams. And there's a family of starlings who are nesting in it. And that little noise is Luna. He's got a piece of kiwi fruit that he is very keen to share with someone. That's his please come share with me noise. They love to share food with their people. That's my microphone cable. No. So I now have 6 meters worth of knots to untie in my microphone cable. I don't know if he thought that he was untangling it. If he did not do a good job. So a couple of months back I was asked to quote and give timing on a drawing that was to be a film job, and they wanted highly detailed graphite work like this, but it needed to be A1. And a whole incredibly detailed, basically a fantasy theme. So I told them that I needed 6 weeks to do it, and gave my quote, and they were like, 6 weeks for a pencil sketch? So I explained to them that it's basically sort of half an hour per square inch. And yes, that I had shown them a work that I'd previously done that was of that detail. And they agreed to that. After I got them to understand why it was going to take so long. And then hummed and hawed and faffed until I would have had less than a week to do the job, which was not physically possible. So, yeah, for those of you who are like, oh, it's just a pencil sketch, it's fast. This is why it's not. And yes, there is a difference between a sketch and what I'm doing. What they wanted was this, as evidenced by the work that they had chosen of mine, but referred to it as a sketch because there's a misconception that anything that's done in graphite is a sketch, which is, I mean, definition of a sketch is rough and quick. And that graphite work is fast and simple and less than, which it certainly is not. I'm not complaining. Well, I suppose I am complaining at attitudes, but I'm more that I'm trying to set that misconception straight. Graphite takes as much time and skill as inks or oils or anything else. That is partially why I wanted to do these live sessions, is so that people can see exactly what goes into my work. Because showing stuff on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, you know, and what I show is this very fast, carefully edited view, And yes, that does give people the preconception that it's easy and that it's fast. And there are things that are quicker than others. I do work fast and loose in ink sometimes, as evidenced in the kitty painting. But I want people to know what goes into something like this, something that is heavily detailed, how long it really takes. This is now at 3-hour-long sessions, well, actually about an hour and a quarter. Let's say an hour after faffing and forgetting stuff downstairs. So 3-hour-long sessions plus another probably hour and a half in my studio. So we're sitting on 4 hours now to get this far. Oh. can do probably about another 20 minutes before my phone battery decides that it has reached its zenith. And yes, I can work with my phone plugged in, however then I don't get a microphone, which is one of the reasons why I didn't have a mic plugged in with the last one. Partially because I just really didn't feel like talking that day, and partially because I needed to keep my phone plugged in because I'd forgotten to plug it in earlier. Feathers are so interesting. The layering is just crazy, how they all sit so neatly. Next time, I'm going to be reading a poem. I'm going to be reading Sometimes a Wild God by Tom Hirons, which is one of my absolute favourite poems ever. However, I was going to do it this time, but I want to get a bit more confident and learn it properly instead of having to scroll backwards and forwards on my iPad. So for those who love poetry, come back next time. That'll be Wednesday. Just hang on a sec. There we go. Are we still going? Yes, we are still going. Yay! Okay, I think we're still going. I hope we're still going. Yeah, I'm on low power mode now, so I have way less than 10 minutes. We shall see. I will take this as far as I possibly can. I apologize if we get cut off. These are the primary flight feathers. Okay, so that's one good thing to know, is that shooting 1080p, I get just over an hour to my battery. But this has been a really nice break from computer editing, so thank you for being here with me. I have needed this. I have literally been sitting in front of the computer doing Photoshop post work on the tarot cards. I'm 30 out of the 45 I've finished painting. I've done the post on 30 of them. So I'm getting there and I'm doing well. And I'm enjoying it. But it's so good to just get back to this. I've really missed just sitting and drawing. I think he's looking really good. What do you think? There's the other clutch pencil there. Okay, I am going to have to bid you adieu. Farewell and adieu. Because I have 3 minutes, well, 3% battery life left. So thank you for watching and for being here with me. This is how far we got today, and I will see you on Wednesday.